If someone gives you the ick, there's a reason. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. If a circumstance, if a situation, if something feels off to you, again, there's a reason. Investigate a little bit. Pay attention to those gut feelings. Pay attention to how your heart feels. So I'm going to share a story today um, about something that happened to me over a year ago um, that I've never really fully shared before, other than to a few people close to me. Won't reveal any names or any, you know, distinguishing characteristics. Um, but recently, just a few days ago, I posted on Instagram a video of me, just cute video of me walking through Nobu and Malibu with my Neverfull over my shoulder. It was kind of taken. It was a video. My friend Al was walking behind me and recording. And I just turned a little clip of that into a video on Instagram. And I said, it's okay to walk away. And then in the caption talked about how if something doesn't feel right, pay attention. If somebody gives you the ick, there's a reason. And I got a lot of responses to this, both on Instagram and Facebook, DMs, all of the things. So I've decided what I post is it's always something coming from my real life, whether it's something that's happened in the, immediately or right at the moment or something that's happened in the past. And I share, I share because these things are universal. So I'm going to share a story raw and real. And I'm just sitting here in my bed. I was going to go downstairs and, get fixed up. I'm like in boxer shorts, but I thought, no, I've just got to get this out. So I know how long this one's going to be. Buckle up. And it's not crazy. It's not violent, anything like that, but it scared me. It shook me to my core. And so now when something feels a little threatening to me online, if I've let somebody in a little bit and then stuff changes, like I feel that. So back in January of 2024, I, I get, because I'm visible, I get a lot of messages on Facebook and Instagram from men wanting to meet me or, and I don't have time, obviously, to get back to these messages. And many times I don't even see them. But I was going through some Facebook message requests and decided that I would at least pay a little more attention instead of delete, delete, delete. So this one gentleman had written a really lovely paragraph to me. I don't recall exactly what it said, but just complimenting my content, my message, all of these things. So when I checked, so I thought, okay, I want to reply to this. It's just such a lovely comment. Um, and when I looked, I saw that he lived a few hours from me and had a lot of we had not a lot of, but we definitely had some mutual Facebook friends. And for me, these are people who are definitely on the periphery, but like I know who they are. So, you see this, oh, there are some connections here, which made me feel even more comfortable replying to this message. And and the message had come through, I don't know, possibly weeks before. I don't recall because I don't always see them. So he got back to me right away and we had a little conversation going. I was leaving voice messages, which I realize come across as very maybe familiar and more personal, which is great. I don't like to type very much. My hands, my hands get tired being on my phone a lot. I believe I might have been driving, so I'm leaving him voice messages. We're having a nice, conversation. And then he asks me, he asks if he said, "Hey, I'm in your area." I think he had maybe gone to high school like half an hour from here or something. Frequently, I'd love to take you out to dinner. And I said, no, well, thank you. I would, I definitely want to hop on the phone, have a phone conversation first, just see if this makes sense. I'm careful about who I let into my life. I didn't say that, but that's what's on my mind. And also to me, my time is so incredibly valuable that I love my alone time. I love my downtime. I'm very careful about who has access to my energy. So this was on a Thursday. And he kind of, I said, we'll do this sometime next week. It would need to be sometime next week. I'm going to be tied up all weekend with some family things. And so I set this, hey, we'll talk next week. And so again, this was on Thursday. By Thursday night, I'm still hearing from quite a bit. And I said, hey, tomorrow so I just said my dad's having surgery. I think I said my dad's having surgery the next day, which he was. My father, who's close to 90, was having knee replacement surgery. So I had cleared my schedule. Both my sister and I were making sure that we were available for the next several days, like very available for anything our parents might need. And so I said, I'll talk to you next week. I might have said, I look forward to talking next week. Yeah, whatever. And he wanted my phone number. And again, you can always block people, but I said, hey, we can just keep talking here on Messenger. So, we'll talk on Messenger, whatever. And next week. So Friday morning, bright and early, I'm leaving my house at maybe 6:30 in the morning, getting a message like, hey, sending best wishes for the day. I didn't respond. I'm hurrying to get in my car and head to the surgery center and want to pick up some coffee for my sister and my mom when I get close. And I'm driving, I've got like over an hour drive. So I'm not, I think that was lovely, but I'm not replying. I get some messages from him during the day asking how everything's going. At this point, I say to my sister, I talked to this guy yesterday. I don't know him. And he keeps asking, and it felt, again, maybe coming from somebody else, I would have been like, how lovely. It started to feel intrusive to me. It started to feel intrusive. Something felt off. And then as I thought about it, and again, I try not to overthink. I try to go more on feelings. How does this feel? But, I realized that if I gave him a one sentence message, he replied with a paragraph or like multiple messages. It was kind of, again, I don't normally keep track of these things, but that was noticeable also. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be spending the night, what was going on, with my dad. Everything was good for me to go home. That night, I get another message saying, hey, I haven't heard from you. I hope everything's okay. At this point, I left him a voice message. And I said, hey, listen, I don't know you. I appreciate it's kind of you to check on me. I have my own support group of people that I am close to. I'm with my family this weekend. So I'll talk to you next week. And at that point, I get a message back, something about like, wow, I like you even more. I'm even more interested in you, that you have this fire in you, or something like that. I don't know, whatever. I'm having the ick now. It's just feeling weird. And I don't recall how much conversation went on after that. But I believe he did message me through the weekend, but possibly chilled a little bit. So I had agreed to speak to him on Tuesday evening. And you know what? Looking back, why did I, at this point, if I have the ick from somebody, why am I agreeing to chat with them any further? So he video calls me on Facebook at the appointed time, and we chat. I probably stayed on, and again, I do find people interesting. So we're chatting for a while. I don't know how long we were on. And then he says, well, hey, I'd love to take you out next weekend. And I said, no, thank you. And again, looking back, I could have been more firm, just said, no, thank you. It's been lovely talking to you. I'm not interested in pursuing anything, because I really wasn't. There was no, he was like, wow, there's really a vibe with us. And I'm thinking, no, you're just picking up that I've got a good vibe. But I felt no interest. This isn't somebody that I want to get to know further or get to know romantically in any way. I'm just not feeling that connection at all. So I said, no, thank you. But I guess in order to be, well, I knew I didn't ever want to meet this guy. Sometimes we like to let people off easy. And I said, definitely. I said, look, I'm working on a lot of things. I just really am valuing my own time. I'm working hard in some business projects. I'm just not wanting to go out next weekend. And kind of, I guess I made it a little more about I'm too busy, which I mean, again, not busy going in with activities, busy working on my own things. So he said, would it be okay if I stay in touch with you? I think I gave, and I don't recall what my exact words were, but I believe looking back, again, hindsight is 2020, that I kind of gave the impression of not now, maybe later. And again, I probably did. This was January of 2024, so it's been a while. So I said, okay, yeah, you can keep in touch. So he continues to message me and I don't respond, the next day, which is like Wednesday, and the next day, maybe waits a couple days, messages some more. And I'm not replying because at this point I just have no interest. But I realize, okay, something that I realize about that I've really noticed is that I value clear communication from people. And since I value it, I do my best to provide it myself and to communicate in a way that is clear and kind. So I wrote out a lovely message. I think I did it in notes on my phone first. I reread it, made sure it was good, saying, hey, used his name, which I'm not going to share. It's been lovely speaking with you. And you seem, whatever. I said some positive things. And I said, but I'm not interested in pursuing anything. I'm not interested in getting together with you in person, since I wanted to let you know, because I don't want to give you the wrong impression and think that this is leading to something. I even said I really value clear communication. And it was something like, I wish you nothing but the best. It was extremely positive and kind, and I sent it to him. And bear in mind, I've not responded to this man's messages for over a week, which you'd think would be a sign, right? He should already know that I'm not interested. I get this mess. Something I might not hear anything, and that's fine. I get a message back saying, wow, and again, I can't speak in his way, but it was, very much like stunned, shocked. I can't believe. And again, at that point, my best bet would have not been to just not respond and, walk away. But then he started attacking me and saying really mean things about me. And leading up to this, he'd just been saying how much he admired me. He admired my message. He admired my online presence, all of these things. Now it was, you're too much. I don't believe you're successful at all. You're a fraud. You're a liar. He started calling me protein shake girl, which is hysterical because I don't really drink protein shakes. I had posted one shake recipe that didn't use protein powder to say, hey, for those of you who really like shakes, here's a protein shake made using real food. But like anybody who knows me knows I don't really do shakes. And I'm pretty vocal about that. And he just went on and on. And there were a few times that I did go in and try to defend and justify myself. Silly. Don't engage with assholes. So I finally just blocked him. I believe I deleted the whole conversation. So I figured that's the end of it, but it definitely had me shook. And I was already having a day that some other things that happened that had made me that I wasn't feeling my best. And this really shook me. So fast forward, it's now early April. Well, it's probably late March. So I'm getting ready to go to California to visit a dear friend. And I was in the Maxim CoverGirl competition then, and that was the second time I ran, and I was in the quarterfinals, hoping to move on to the semifinals. And I noticed on one of my posts on Facebook, this man's profile picture and leaving a lovely comment, like, good luck. And I thought, I looked at him like, wait, that's the same guy. I thought I blocked him. And it didn't appear to be a fake profile or anything, but I said, okay, well, he left a lovely comment. I'm not going to, okay. If you block somebody once and they come back, just block them again. Block them again. So I just kind of went on with my business. Went out to California, had an amazing time, took lots of fun pictures and videos. While I was out there, I did not move forward in the Maximum CoverGirl competition. So I came in third in the quarterfinals. And at that point, you need to be in first or second to move on to the semifinals. So I screenshot, Elizabeth came in third, whatever. And, posted some things now before I'm posting Vote For Me, posted some things about what a lovely experience it was, how grateful I was for this opportunity, how much I learned from it. And I get home from California. I'm still using some of these pictures and videos. I continue to. And long story short, this guy starts now leaving really nasty comments on my posts. And I decide paragraphs telling me I'm a fraud, telling me I never made it that far in Maximum CoverGirl. I'm literally screenshotting my results, like, and posting them to say, like, thanks everybody. Like, sad I didn't move forward, but thanks for voting. And it was amazing. And he just attacks and attacks. And I thought, well, I'm not going to block. Let me report this to Meta, because this is really harassment. It was really getting awful and ugly. Meta wouldn't do anything, but they said you can block him. So that's what I did. Moral of the story is, the minute something feels off, pay attention. If someone gives you the ick, pay attention. I am so grateful that, again, had I given him my phone number, obviously I could have blocked him. So grateful that this person never, had my address or any of that information. But I'm just sharing this to you, like, because things can, when people are already something's a little off, even a very kind, no, thank you. It's a kind rejection. I mean, I'm not rejecting him. I'm just not wanting to pursue anything with him. But he took it as a rejection and just kept going and going. The interesting is, my sister ended up checking out his Facebook profile while during this whole time he was attacking me, really attacking me very vocally on my Facebook posts. He had a girlfriend. And he's wasting all this time saying mean shit to someone who wouldn't go out with him. So I don't know how long this is. I realize it's kind of raw and real and all the things, but when someone gives you the ick, there's a reason. Pay attention. If this helps one person, I'm really glad that I did it. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments.